I'm Mirka Jokelainen, publisher for Progress Test in Maths. We've created these support videos to help you get the most from our assessments. In this module, we'll focus on providing you with guidance for the efficient and effective administration of the assessment. Administration of Progress Test in Maths differs for digital and paper customers. This module covers both. If you're a digital customer, you'll have a test-wise login, a digital administration guide, and test allocation for each student. Customers using paper tests will be provided with a booklet for each student, a batch header sheet, and the at-a-glance guide that summarizes all of the administration information that is needed. We recommend that you familiarize yourself with these guides before administering the test. The digital administration guide and the at-a-glance guide contain everything you need to know to administer the test. There is a short introduction followed by word-for-word guidance on how to administer every part of the test. Sticking to this guidance will help to ensure that the results will be reliable. For paper customers, every student needs their own booklet, which has space for them to write the date of the test, their name, class name, and date of birth. You may choose to fill this in for younger students in advance of the test. These are very important pieces of information that identify the student and their group. For digital customers, student information will need to be input into the TestWise system. Students simply need to log in to TestWise and click on their name to start the test. If you need help with this, please see the how-to videos within TestWise. Before you administer the test to students, we would recommend familiarizing yourself with the logging process and the test. Each student will need headphones to complete the assessment. The best way to prepare for the test session is by reading the digital administration guide or the at-a-glance guide and becoming familiar with the test content. They will guide you on how to administer the test and ensure that the test environment is suitable. You also need to make sure the students are comfortable, that they cannot copy each other, and that there are no disturbances. When timetabling for the test, you should allow for a little settling time prior to starting. From level 8 and above, Progress Test in Maths can be split into 2 sessions. The mental maths section and the applying and understanding section can be taken in separate sessions as long as the test is fully completed within 1 week. The order the sections are taken in doesn't matter. If your students are taking the test digitally, the whole section needs to be completed in a single session and can't be paused. If the section is paused for a long time or stopped, the student will need to start the test again. Levels 5 to 7 only have the applying and understanding maths component. The mental maths section is timed. For digital tests, the audio is included in the test, so please make sure sound is on and everyone has their headphones plugged in. For paper tests, the at-a-glance guide has a link for downloading the audio recording, which you can save on your device ahead of testing. Using the audio will ensure timings are correct and that your test results are reliable. The applying and understanding maths section is not timed. We do offer a suggested timing, so it's down to you to decide if the time allocated has given all students the chance to complete the test. For younger students taking the paper test, the questions will be read out by you. For these younger children, we would recommend setting up small groups of 8 to 10 for taking the test. Use your judgment to decide when the students within the group have had enough time to demonstrate what they can do. Extra time may be helpful for those who work more slowly, but if a student is weak in certain areas of the test and unable to complete test questions, giving more time might not make a difference to their test score. This table shows the test level to choose for your students. If testing between August and December, choose a different level than if testing between January and June. 11T is a new transition test specifically designed for use at the beginning of the secondary years that provides an accurate baseline from which progress can be monitored. For all test levels, it is important to ensure that physical test conditions enable all students to perform at their best. The room needs to be as comfortable as possible for students to take the assessment. The students need to be told that they must work independently and record their own answers without speaking to fellow students. For paper tests, all students should be sitting close enough to the teacher so that they can hear the instructions and give them their full attention. Remember that up to level 8, you will read all the questions aloud. It is also important that if the test is being administered in 2 sessions, that the booklets are collected in at the end of the first session and are handed back to the correct students for the second session. Finally, the test session must not be interrupted. so you may choose to put a notice on the door to say that testing is in progress to prevent disturbance. In this next section, we will look at what you need to do after the test. Firstly, for digital customers, please ensure all students have completed all parts of the test. You can monitor this through your TestWise account. Once this has happened, you can generate the reports. We will look at reports in later modules. There are some important things to do after completing the paper testing. At the end of the final test session, when all of the students have been tested, the booklets should be collected and one batch header sheet should be completed for each level. The batch header sheet is provided with every order and is also downloadable from the GL Assessment website. One sheet needs to be completed for every test level returned for scoring. There are detailed instructions on the batch header sheet about how to fill this in and where to send the booklets. You must also complete a data file containing information about the students whose booklets are to be scored. Scoring will be completed and reports made available no later than 15 working days from the receipt of your booklets and completed data file. Reports can be downloaded from our TestWise reporting system, or TRS. This is a separate system from the digital test system. You'll be contacted about login details for both systems. The results are available to you for 6 months or until the end of the academic year, whichever is the longest time. So make sure you download and save them to your own network or computer so that you have the report stored for longer-term reference. For customers using the online marking tool or OMT, specific details can be found in the OMT guidance. But in essence, you log in and use the OMT to upload student details and mark the tests. After marking, the reports will be available.